Lisa McLeod. I'm the MPP for Nepean. I'm joined today by my friend and colleague.
Yes, Councillor David Hill. I'm the City Councillor out here in Barrhaven West, Ward 3.
Thank you very much, David, for coming to my kitchen to cook with me.
I'm looking forward to a little bit of Christmas festivities.
Exactly, and we thought we'd bring this episode to you for our constituents, but also people across the province who might like to cook right before the holidays and want to have a little bit of fun. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to be making some chocolate chip cookies with 4 different types of chocolate chips and some maple syrup. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to taste really good.
It's going to be fantastic.
But you have a different take on what you're doing today.
Well, I'm just looking forward to chatting a little bit about what's going on in Barrhaven, doing a little bit of cooking, and I didn't want you to be the only one to bear the burden of all of these ingredients in this, so I thought I would bring a little bit of Christmas cheer along too, and I thought we would maybe at the same time as making these cookies, we would make some Christmas wassail.
What is Christmas wassail?
What is Christmas wassail, you say? Well, this is our first discussion. Okay. So Christmas wassail is like cider, except it's got a little bit of alcohol and it's got some orange, it's got some herbs, spices. This is like a Scottish thing.
Oh, okay. It's very good, but you know, you had me nervous when you said, Lisa, you're like Martha Stewart and I'm like Snoop Dogg.
Well, you know, we're going to have a little bit of fun with this.
Okay,
But while we are making our cookies, the thing about wassail is it mostly just simmers.
Okay.
So we can maybe get ourselves like a big pot. If you have a big pot.
If I've got a pot, it's here because I have this kitchen that was designed for cooking.
So what's going on in Queen's Park these days, Lisa?
Well, you know, we're fighting the carbon tax because the price of carbon on is driving up the cost of everything in the province of Ontario. So it's been a big challenge for all of us. And I'll say I was just over at the Independent this morning because I do cook and bake a lot. And so I'm the shopper in the family. And I noticed that there was some butter on for $5.99, and I had to tell everybody in the store that butter was on for $5.99 because the carbon tax has driven up the cost of everything, and butter now costs anywhere between $8.99 and $10.99.
It's bonkers. And wages haven't gone up equivalently. Well, I appreciate you fighting the fight, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you. And I know you're busy down at, we've got a budget coming at City Hall.
We have a budget on Wednesday. There's been a lot of work. The last few weeks have been all of the committee meetings that have been orienting our budget. I've delegated at pretty much all of them, despite the fact that I'm only on 6 committees right now, but I've been to all of them to represent the issues out here in Barrhaven. I've been twice to the last couple of police services boards, because as you know, we've had a lot of car thefts out here in Barrhaven.
Well, I was telling you last night about me and Joe. We had somebody break into our backyard, and then there was a theft alert on our car.
Ingredient number 1 for our wassail, we're going to put some mulled apple cider in here, and then we're going to get her going, and then we can make some cookies. So.
Okay, I love it.
How do you turn that stove on? Because I don't want to burn your house down, Lisa.
Oh, good. It's gas stove. What would you like it to?
Hot.
Okay, that's really not a temperature. So high, medium, low.
Let's go low. Let's go low because we got lots of time. We're gonna let it simmer.
Okay. Well, I'm really glad that you don't want to burn my house down because that was a concern of mine when I agreed to do this cooking show with you.
Okay, so we're just gonna let that simmer for a little bit.
Yeah.
We got some more ingredients we're gonna throw in there, but we can do a little bit of cookies.
Yeah, okay, so what we're doing right now is we're gonna be doing the sort of the dry ingredients. So that's about 1.5 cups of flour.
And did we say exactly, this is maple flavored chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah, so put a little bit of salt in there. And we'll put a little bit of baking soda. We'll just mix that up a little bit.
So is this something that you would have every Christmas, or this is just a recipe you found online for this year?
Yeah, sort of a recipe I found online. Everything I do, I really like to make banana bread. And I would have made that today, and I always do it with chocolate chips and with maple syrup, especially maple syrup from around here, from our community. But I didn't have any bananas, so that was sort of the issue for me on that. So anyway, next time.
Well, I was originally, my first thought when we had this idea to do this Christmas cooking was I was going to bring some ingredients. We were going to do tortilla, but I thought that might be a little bit complicated. So that's why I settled on some wassail.
Yeah, I think that's good that you decided to do something simple, because I was the same. I was like, oh my God, I'll have to go full throttle on everything today. And I was going to get beef bourguignon, pull apart bread, and then Joe's like, you're crazy. And I said, yes, I know. I'm certified.
So our next ingredient for our wassail, a little bit of fresh orange juice.
Oh, okay. You're very good at this. I don't think you're necessarily a Snoop Dogg.
Well, I'd like to have some fun. Anything I can do for you over here, Lisa?
No, I'm pretty good. So you just have to tell us a little bit more of, oh yeah, we can do that if you want. I like it.
Yeah, so the budget's coming up. We've had our committee meetings. I advocated at the Police Services Board, and we were successful in the board. They've got I think a healthy budget that's going to increase some of the presence of our Ottawa Police Service here in Barrhaven area.
That's really important to our community.
It's
because we're growing, and people sometimes they don't realize, they think we're all farmland, but we're not anymore. There are a few small farms, but
yeah, no, and what else? Oh, and we're going to be putting we have broken ground. We're going to be constructing the Ottawa South Police facility out in on Prince of Wales Road.
Yep.
Which is going to be great, not only because it's going to mean we're going to have a bit more police presence out here, but it's going to bring good jobs to Barrhaven, which is critical.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to happen, but it's better when we're ready for it, right?
Yeah, and then we've also, we've been working really hard throughout the year, and I know certainly you and Jan were working really hard, for years on the transportation aspects here in the city. We're working on, getting Barnsdale Interchange installed.
Had some great
We're
meetings
working
on that at Queen's Park last week.
Greenbank realignment has got some additional funds for this year too. So I'm going to keep working with my council colleagues to make sure that the budget vote on Wednesday goes well, and I'm feeling good about it.
Oh, that's good. Well, congratulations. As I said, when you and I were talking this week about Ottawa getting its fair share, Toronto's always getting everything. And so you and I were talking about the need for us to get our fair share and get that Barnsdale exit. So I had the chance to talk to the Premier, to the Transportation Minister, and a number of members of the staff at Premier's office. So what I also just added in here was maple syrup, some vanilla extract, and of course a beaten egg. That goes along with the brown sugar and the butter. And now I'm going to put a bunch of these in because nobody wants a chocolate chip cookie with no chocolate chips. And here's a special ingredient. We're going to add some slivered almonds. And then this is the gross part because you have to touch it with your hands.
You wash your hands, yeah?
Yeah, I do. If you need to wash your hands, there's some soft soap back there.
So I've got here some cinnamon sticks.
Ooh.
We're going to throw a few of these in the pot.
Yeah, one of the things you've been...
Do you like cinnamon?
I love cinnamon.
Okay, we'll put a little extra in there. Be a bit extra spicy.
So on my end, we've got a freshly lubricated or oiled or cooking spray. And we're going to put our little cookies down here. And then we'll be in for about 9 minutes. And I hope these are good. You're going to tell me if they're good anyway, even if they're not, eh?
Well, they look pretty delicious, so I need to cut this.
Okay,
where would I find a knife?
Right over there, right above the right above the citrus.
Perfect. So we're going to cut up a couple lemons here. I'm going to squeeze these out. Just get it started over here.
Yeah, this is a good idea. I think we should do this again.
I'd like to.
It's like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so budget's a big deal this week, and then once that's done, I'm really looking forward to, I look forward to the Christmas events that we have in the community, certainly. I mean, I was at a breakfast this morning.
Oh, did you get to the breakfast? I didn't get to the breakfast.
Yeah, I got to that.
Having an issue with my sleep patterns, so I didn't get to go see Daryl and the guys, but I was over there yesterday when they were doing the setup. So how well attended was that?
Well, I was pretty early on because
I don't think they had as many people for that sitting.
No, but my youngest daughter, she does pottery, and so I had to get her to the Nepean Sportsplex so that she could do her pottery class at 10 o'clock. So we were there from about 8:30 till 10, and we got to chat with Santa Claus and some of the other folks that were down there. It was a fun time.
What was Santa saying?
Well, Santa was saying that I was being a good boy, and he's probably going to give me a nice big bottle of Christmas cheer this year, which I'm looking forward to.
And what bottle of Christmas cheer is your preferred?
Well, I would say probably this time of year, a little bit of spiced rum.
Okay.
Speaking of that, if you have any, we're going to throw some in that pot.
Let me see. Let me just check that out. First of all, I'm gonna put this in here. I've made 9. This is just a small one, but we'll put those in. I'll put the timer on, and we will timer.
So I'm opening up some whole cloves here. We're going to throw a few of these in.
That's gonna really taste good, I think.
And then I've also got some anise seeds. But I was saying, Lisa, one of the things I'm looking forward to after Christmas is a little bit of downtime in January, to be honest, because it's been bonkers all fall. And you know, the legislative break that normally happens in the summertime really didn't apply to Barrhaven because, as you're well aware, right about the time that we were kind of thinking that we might get the chance to reduce our schedule a little bit, take a little bit of holidays for the summer, Mother Nature decided to have 2 tornadoes out here.
Right behind my house.
Right
actually.
behind your house.
Right here, and it was funny because Sam LaPrade, back when 1310 was still on the air, she called me and I said, "Oh, I just got off the phone with the premier. I just let him know that there was a touchdown in my backyard because my neighbor, as you'll recall, Isabel, she recorded it right here. It's a good thing those houses weren't built.
A little bit of ground cardamom.
And I don't know if this is spiced, but it's from Nova Scotia. So every time I come back from visiting my mom, I usually buy something craft. And I do the same thing if I travel around Ontario. So I've got a bit of a collection that I don't drink because it's not the stuff I do.
Do you want to be the rum pourer?
No, you do the rum pourer.
All right. So the instructions are very specific. We need 4 glugs.
4 glugs?
4 glugs.
Okay. And so...
Maybe 5.
Silly me. Here I was measuring everything for the cookies.
Okay.
Yeah, the other thing about doing the stuff in advance and preparing it is I find that you end up having less of a mess. And that's important to me. Because I've got 2 18-year-old girls
A little
here.
bit of ground nutmeg. We're going to measure exactly 1.5 teaspoons. There we go.
Oh, God, the Snoop Dogg of Barrhaven.
And then we're going to throw a couple tea bags in there.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. You know, if you're going to put rum in.
Do you like tea?
I love tea.
All right, we'll put 4.
Okay, good. So that's great. And while we're doing this and we're waiting for everything to work, you've been working with me on the Barrhaven Town Centre.
Yes.
I was able to secure the funding from the province for it. I was the minister, actually, responsible for that file, and I was just delighted to be able to pick a project from home. But also, it's really a city-led process, and you have been a tremendous leader on getting that file through City Hall. Okay.
Well, thank you.
You don't have to.
Well, I'm using what I got here, and it's good. It's good. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, so the town center I'm super excited about.
Here we go. See, this.
Okay,
you
well,
don't need to use a
that's
knife.
good. We can use a wooden spoon.
Okay.
Yeah, so I appreciate very much, it's fun to get the football and have, a couple blockers so that you can run into the end zone, right?
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
really how I feel, is the hard work was done to get the football out. We've got the ISIP grant, which obviously the provincial government and the federal government are going to sponsor some resources.
Yep.
We've got money coming in from the city's library board because this is going to have a 30,000 square foot library, main floor. And then on top of that, community center. My vision would be that community center is kind of like the John Blackick Center in Canada.
Yeah,
You know how it's from a size perspective, it'll be a similar square footage. But what I really like about that facility is that you can button it up with all the partitions, and you can run 6 or 7 different concurrent operations at the same time. So there can be yoga in one room, there's kids painting in another room, there's some STEM learning in another one, there's adult learning class in another one.
Yeah.
And you can really program in all that space really effectively. But then Friday night comes and there's going to be a big holiday celebration or something, you pull all the partitions, you can have 500 people in there. It's like
incredible.
A theater kind of thing. So I think that's a really good model, and that's certainly what my vision to staff has been on that. And then the outside, I think, is really special too, because we're going to transition that civic center into a beautiful public space. Again, I'm a visual person. I envision Mel Lastman Square.
Yeah.
So you've got a little outdoor auditorium, you've got a water feature that can maybe in the wintertime it's a rink. You've got lots of space for some food trucks to come in, and if you want to have a Korean event, or if you want to have a Japanese event, or you want to have whatever it is, you bring in a bunch of food trucks, you can have a big party there, you have your auditorium, you have some space where people can gather, and then it's all connected. So it's connected to the North Jock Park. Yeah. It's connected to the beautiful walkways we're going to have through the Conservancy just
right
down
here,
just in your backyard.
I think it should all be called Turkey Trot Lane, because you should see the turkeys there all the time.
Well, then we should have done a Thanksgiving show.
We'll do it next time. Should I? I'm going to put this up a little bit for you.
All right, put that up a bit. Let's stir this up a bit. See how it's going with a wooden spoon, not with a knife, of course.
No, we don't need a knife. We're not primitive.
You know what I think we need to do? We need to ad lib a little bit.
Oh.
I can't not put a little bit of that. Is that cranberry juice?
Yeah.
Well, we need to put some. We need a glass here, something.
Here.
Here we go. Measuring cup. Just because you want me to use a measuring. So we need exactly half a cup of this cranberry juice.
It's exact from the.
There we go. We'll put a little bit of cranberry juice in here. Actually, we're going to go 3/4 of a cup because that's not much. That'd be lovely, eh? A little bit of cranberry flavoring in our wassail.
You want to take some of the cranberries?
I would love to take some of the cranberries.
Okay, here. Why don't I get you a? Here, look at this.
But no, I'm very excited about looking to make some progress over the next little bit on the town center for sure. But it's a big project. It's a challenging project. We have a lot of things to do. We need to acquire the land. We need to synchronize it with the transportation piece, because as you know, it's right on two planned transit corridors. One's north-south. Ultimately, it's the LRT Phase 3 terminus. Come on. Okay, you want some rum? No. We'll get into that. But it's also on the east-west Chapman Mills bus rapid transit line.
Yeah.
So from an accessibility perspective, it's going to be a great place to get people in and out. But there's a lot of complication, because with all of those different kind of entities, there's all the different planners. It's complicated. Yeah. So I really look forward to seeing some progress on that this year. And I'll be loud and advocating certainly within the city to get moving appropriately.
Yeah, I love that. The other thing that you and I talk about a lot, and I don't know how we're going to meet our housing targets, but the city's eligible for about $100 million if it meets its housing targets this year. And it just seems like it's so slow. We have so much NIMBYism, but people don't realize there are young families out there that don't have the dream of home ownership right now because of the price of housing, because there's not enough supply. My own daughter and her friends are wondering, are they going to be living with their parents for the rest of their life? And I know you've been a strong voice, and certainly when Jan was here, she really built up our community. But, how are you going to be able to sort of encourage people like Mark Sutcliffe to look at that financial windfall they could get to start building houses in our community so that more young families will have a place to live?
This is probably one of the toughest issues that we're dealing with. We got lots of issues in the city for sure. But a lot of people will talk about affordability and the ability for the young to have the dream of home ownership, or even to just be able to pay your rent and not be house poor.
Yeah.
But you can't. There's no magic solution to this. And a lot of people will say, urban sprawl is a terrible thing because we're eating up prime agricultural land and it's bad for the environment. I don't want us to eat prime agricultural land either. But we do need space for housing. So I think really it's about balance and compromise. Yeah. We've had this really strange pendulum effect in the last 6-8 months here in the city of Ottawa, where we submitted an official plan that had certain expansion lands which would allow us to grow housing stock, and then for multitude of reasons there were restrictions to that, and all of a sudden some of that expansion land got pulled out. And so from an urban sprawl perspective, that's going to affect us, because now there's really two places you can build. You can build on the fringe of your city, or you can build inside. So if we're saying collectively that we're gonna build
You're
more
gonna leave them
inside
on
of
for-
our city.
You're gonna leave them on for 3 more minutes, although they look delicious.
Those look fantastic, but yeah, a couple more minutes maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, if we're not going to be as enthusiastic about growing on the fringe of our city, which I would kind of subscribe to. Like I don't want us to eat up our farmland either, but I recognize that it's a balance.
You know
But
what
the
drives
other
me
side-
crazy? Well, no, but here's the thing, and because I'm in violent agreement with you. There is prime agricultural land out here, but there's also land that isn't prime ag out here that they're going to suggest. Well, that's a floodplain, right? So you look at that, and it becomes frustrating because the people that want to say let's support the prime agricultural land are the first people in the urban centers who disrespect our farmers, support things like a carbon tax that is killing their production, and have advocated for against the family farm for as long as I've been elected, which is 18 years. And that's what is so frustrating, is that dichotomy of they use people that are opposed to development are the same people who would normally not care about the argument that they're trying to make, but it bolsters in their mind the cause.
Well, my big challenge in City Hall is a lot of the loudest voices who would say we don't want to sprawl into prime agricultural land will be the ones that will then say, but I don't want you to do infill in my ward.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is the hugest
100%.
challenge.
Yeah.
And I find it very frustrating. And for me, I recognize that, you know, when I go to Barrhaven residents and say to them, you know, we're probably going to see another tower get installed down at Marketplace next to the Lapine building.
Yeah.
And the folks that live in the Lapine building have already said to me and continue to say to me and will continue saying to me, we really don't want that because we don't want the shade in the back of my balcony. I bought this not realizing there was going to be an apartment there. And I'm the one that has to be at the face of that and say, look, the reality is this is a transit corridor. This is a city.
And we need to have transit-oriented
There's going to be
communities.
an apartment here. It's going to be
Yeah.
a minimum of 25 floors. And the reality is, although you may not want it there, we need it there. I'm more than willing to have that conversation with my residents.
Yeah.
But we need to, those are the things that I'm seeing right now. We just had a vote this last week, or it wasn't a vote, it was a file that was brought to committee for 3 towers on Baseline Road. And the argument against those towers was shading on the experimental farm. Oh. And I'm willing to listen to all of the conversation and the debate and the discussion. Do I want to see us destroying the future of our agriculture industry in Canada? Of course not. But do we need to compromise on these things? We do. It's not one or the other. For the experimental farm to declare that the City of Ottawa should not be developing in any way that is, perceived as infringing on them to be able to do their experimental research, well, they need to come to this too, and they need to compromise, because housing is a federal issue as well. It's not just for the city.
Do you hear the federal Minister of Housing wants to give people free rent?
Well, that's going to be a bit of an issue for our inflation, isn't it?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. He's my mother's.
All right, so I don't know if we've got a camera that can come take a look here, but we've got, this is starting to get warm. It's probably going to boil here shortly. We've got some nice cranberries in there. We got some cinnamon, some cardamom, a little bit of apple, a little bit of rum, just a little bit, not too much. 4 glugs, maybe 5.
Now I think my 3 minutes is up, and they look like they're done. And get my little mittens on here. Like my mittens?
I do, little crocodiles.
I feel like I'm Kermit the Frog. Oh, they sort of built into each other.
That's all right. You know what? We got high density cookies. We'll call it mid-rise high density stacked cookies.
All right. So I suppose we're gonna have a little.
I think we need 2 plates and 2 glasses.
Okay.
I think that's what we need.
Do you want glasses or do you want mugs?
Mugs.
Okay.
Mugs. I use the word interchangeably.
Okay. Here we go.
Now, Lisa, do you have a little bit of legislative pause after Christmas where you're going to get some downtime with the family?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to visit my mom in Nova Scotia. And looking forward to seeing that.
I'm debating whether or not I'm going to get the chance to go out to Saskatchewan. I'm hopeful that I can. I haven't had the chance to see my mom and my sister in several months, but we'll see. If I get the chance, I will, but I've got to balance that with my obligations with my outdoor rink, which needs a little bit of love in the January timeframe. Yeah. This is great.
So you're going to be drinking out of New Brunswick. I'm going to drink out of Nova Scotia.
That's perfect. I lived 8 years. I lived in New Brunswick. So
is that right?
I will proudly drink out of that.
Excellent.
Mug.
Yes. So if you're in my home, you sort of know it looks like a big tartan factory threw up in here because I come by my Celtic roots very, very proudly and strongly. And I love the different tartans. I love what they mean. I love the clan system of family and so many people that if they have the same last name as me, they're just automatically my family.
Well, I used to, this is a little known fact, but it is a true one. I used to play the bagpipes when I was at the Royal Military College.
Oh, that's hilarious. Do you still?
I haven't in a long time, although I still have my chanter. Yeah. So I could probably play a simple tune
I have
or
a
two
miniature set of pipes here. MacLeod clan, tartan, the yellow, the loud MacLeod, and I bought it in Scotland. Yeah, but it's a little miniature one. I have it on one of my Santas.
Does it play?
Yeah, it does. There's a reed in it and everything.
All right, go get that thing. Okay. I'm going to play it for you. But in the meantime, I'll get our drinks and our cookies ready.
I love it.
Okay, I don't know where anything is in here, so I'm just going to try and find myself some cutlery so I can manipulate these cookies a little bit. Get one for me and one for Lisa. Do you want me to put the cookies on here? We're gonna take this,
just put the cookies on there.
Cookie on here, and a cookie on here.
And then you can bagpipe for us.
I haven't played these in years, but I'll see if I can whip out a little tune here. We'll see. And
I don't think there's already a reed in it. There's
you know what? I'm going to use this measuring cup. That's just fine. A little bit of Christmas Wassail here. All right. One, two, three. Okay, I'm going to try not to spill all over the place here, but I probably am a little bit. It's all right. Sometimes you got to break an egg when you make an omelet.
Good advice. You're a natural at this.
All right. I'm going to put this in the sink, and we'll put this over here.
Now, I'm not sure, like, the quality of that reed.
That's all right. We'll figure it out.
Okay. I have a little harp, too, that I bought in Ireland.
Well, you should get the harp out. You can harp while I play this thing.
Okay.
All right.
If you must.
All right.
Oh, the house smells so good from the... Oh, it's like this. This doesn't really work.
You've got your Celtic instruments. That's all right.
This is our band.
Well, let's. What do you want to have a taste of this? Or
let's do cheers.
Cheersies. All right. Thank you, Lisa. This is great.
Oh, it smells so good.
There we go. A little bit of spice. That's great.
Yeah.
Little cookie.
Yeah, a little cookie.
Delish.
We did a good job.
So, are we gonna cook again?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can do this. It's been like 20 years. Yeah, I think our reed is a little bit tight here.
I think we need to do like a little hot cross buns. I think that might be the best.
Hot cross buns. Okay, let's see if we can do this. All right. Next time.
It works as well as this.
We'll do music classes next time. It's all right.
You know what we should do though, is I'm so intrigued by your daughter doing the pottery.
It's an amazing program here at the Nepean Sportsplex. Public city run. She's been doing it for like 7 years.
Well, Steve Clark's wife, Deanna, runs a program called Loaves and Fishes. They do a major fundraiser every year for their food bank. And what they do, and I have, they're all in Toronto, but...
Oh, we got to turn this down. I told you I wasn't going to burn your house down, but I'm in the process of doing just that. Okay.
But what they do is they get the local people that do the pottery, and they give them a, maybe I have one. They give them a bowl.
Oh, okay.
They give them a bowl. It costs $20, but it's donated, and then they put soup in it. And you go and you have like a soup lunch,
Yeah.
and then the $20 goes to the Loaves and Fishes Foundation. So every year that Deanna does it, I always get Steve to get me a bowl. I give them $20, and I don't need the soup.
Yeah. No, it's
I don't think it'll travel well from Brockville to Ottawa anyway, so
depends how good it is.
we should talk to Daryl about that.
Happy to. It's she's been doing pottery for a long time, and it's a great city program. And it's, we were talking about this in budget the other day about our city programming, and how we're looking at we have been incrementally increasing some of the investments in these things, and a challenge with recreation park type programming is just with the growth of the city. Everything gets oversubscribed. And so one of the things that we're going to be investing in as part of this budget is going to be a new recreation facility down Riverside South, which is going to be fantastic because that's going to alleviate some of the pressures being placed on, Walter Baker, Nepean Sportsplex,
Well, with the
Minto.
bridge there now, it's, one community.
Yeah, so that'll be good, but yeah.
Well, I'm not a sweet person, but I like this recipe. We gotta make sure the cast and crew get some.
I think there's just enough.
It's great.
Just enough.
So, David, this was a ball. I had a great time. I hope we do it again.
Happy to.
Thanks for coming to my house.
That's
and
great. Is the next one going to be Valentine's Day?
We should do one in the new year.
In the new year?
Earlier new year.
We got Valentine's coming up. What else is coming up? We got Robbie
Easter.
Burns. Where's Robbie Burns is in there, eh?
Yeah, January.
Maybe.
All right, so let's make some haggis. No, but we can make some whiskey infused food. Does that work?
Sold.
Okay.
Sold.
Sold
All right.
to Snoop Dogg.
That's right. Well,
For
thank you very
25
much,
cents.
Lisa.
Well,
this
thank you
is
very
great.
much.
I'm glad you were a good sport with my
It's good.
wild card there.
It is really good. I appreciate it. I hope everybody enjoyed at home. I want to wish you and yours a happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. If you've celebrated Diwali recently, hope it was a great one. And to those that are celebrating Eid later on in the year, as well as Chinese New Year, I'll be with you. My heart's with you, and we're going to continue to stand up for you, and we're going to continue to have a little bit of fun in our community.